All right, in this video, we're gonna be doing second cutting hay. This is an end row that I seeded to grass. So there is oats here, dough or milk stage, where it's not dry grain or anything. So it is June 26th, and then there's a little grass patch here with some alfalfa that's blooming. This is just gonna be round baled. And then on the other side, 5 acres, and the other side are 10. We're gonna see if we can get this to dry. We have high humidity coming in like 90 degrees and 80% humidity every day. Today is Friday, and then it looks like rain coming Tuesday. So we're gonna cut this Friday. It's about 1 o'clock. We have Saturday, Sunday, and then hopefully bale it Monday. We'll see, because Tuesday looks like rain, so. Send her out. The oats were spread with fertilizer spreader. That's what we did with the waterways, and then grass underneath. So oats are a nurse crop to help the grass come up, keep weeds down, and grass takes longer to get going. Nothing thick back here, so this should dry really good. Everything's working good. The fans just turned on, the wind is picking up, and sun came out. So just as I ordered. We got quite a bit of wind. I tried to pick up as many sticks as I could, but you can't catch them all. It is so nice just having this Moco, not a sickle bar, hydraulic in and out. The other one I had to pull a string. All right, so we're done with this 5 acres. We did, it was like 2.5, 3 acre little strip, and then we're gonna go do the bigger field. All right, so we're switching our field. There we go. We'll do new work. Sweet. This is some good, thick stuff. We've had plenty of rain. We got a lot of hay out here. And happy with the weed control. Alfalfa got off to a good start after first cutting and really shaded out a lot of weeds. Curving through. We got done cutting right around 18 acres that we cut, thanks to our monitor tracking. And sun's out, wind's out real nice. Today is Friday. Let this dry Saturday, Sunday. Probably after the dew's off, I'll come rake it Monday. So you can see it, yeah, starting to dry. This stuff takes a little bit to dry, but it wasn't very thick, so. And this is the first time, last cutting I made thin swaths, so nice and wide swaths. I don't think I'll need to tet it. We'll see how she dries and hopefully make some dry bales. Well, we're now back out in the field. It's Monday, about 3 days after cutting. And unfortunately, we got 1/4 of an inch of rain yesterday morning at this time. That was unexpected, wasn't supposed to happen, but today's probably gonna be 90 degrees and 80% humidity, 70% humidity. and you can, you know, taste the moisture in the air. That happens every year. It gets very humid, and this time of year it's very hard to make dry hay. So it's partly cloudy. I'm hoping the sun stays out for a while. We got a little sun bleached with that 1/4 inch of rain. A little crisp, but you can just feel the humidity is slowing down the drying process after that rain. Thankfully, we only got 1/4 of an inch. Just like if 5 miles north of here, I got closer to an inch. I think we can still get this to dry. I don't know if we're gonna rake and bale today. I might have to wait one more day. There's like a 30-40% chance of rain tonight, so it's always a little gamble. Do I rake it here in 2-3 hours once the top kind of dries and hope to bale it this evening, or do I leave it flat out here, hope that it doesn't rain, and then rake it tomorrow? I got some miscellaneous jobs to do to kill some time while this dries. I'm walking in my bean field now, just kind of checking on things. About 2 weeks ago, got done with the second post pass. Here's some volunteer corn from last year's corn that got killed off. Looks like we ran over some crops with sprayer. That happens. So there's some variability in the field with stand and how far along the plants are, but we're in the next 2 weeks. This will completely close here if we keep getting sunshine and rain. We've actually been kind of limited on GDUs, or growing degree units. There it's flowering. We are June 29th today, so about a week past the summer solstice. The plants are now in reproductive stage, but pretty happy with everything. Here's some more volunteer corn that got hit. Weed control looks good, and I see everything's wilting over and dying. For some reason, this waterway had the most weed pressure. The other two has virtually none, so I don't know. I like to mow it before these guys go to seed here. So here's a couple spots in this field. Again, this was planted like March 20th, 26, so very early, and it got cold. And so here's some heavier residue spots that just, the stand wasn't the best. Honestly, right now with all the rain we've had in June and May, there's plenty of moisture out here. And so if it didn't rain for the next 2 weeks and we had plenty of sunlight, I think that would be ideal. Obviously, you want to catch little rains all the time, and then when it's not raining, no clouds and pure sun. This year is very similar to last year in terms of rainfall, moisture, a bit of cloudiness in the early season. Like last year during May, there wasn't a lot of activity, growth going on, and then it took off in June and July. And then last year for the corn, was extreme disease pressure. It might be a similar situation this year, unless it turns dry and we don't have as much humidity and rain to kind of breathe. The wetter and the cloudier and damper it is, the more likelihood of disease pressure is the idea. So we'll see though. And then we're in a different part of the field, different waterway here. And so this was actually a part of the crop field that we turned into a waterway. So you can see the difference in yield pressure between something that's been a waterway for a while and weeds there, and then something this was corn last year. Just cool to see the difference between when you have weeds under control and you plant something that's not corn or beans and you aren't spraying on it. Something that has weed control going into the seeding is gonna hold a lot better. So, all right, it's a couple hours later now. I think we're ready to rake and hopefully bale, I don't know, 5-6 o'clock. It's about noon right now. So we got the rake hooked up and ready to go. The goal is we're just about throwing all this hay on this dry strip so everything gets moved and touched, because you need to flip it to get the other side cooked is the idea. All right, I made a few adjustments on the rake. I think I got it dialed in to where the windrow will be perfect. The back 2 tines you can adjust to make a tighter windrow. Keep the sun out and wind blowing is the goal. It is like 75%, 80% humidity right now. So we have the sun and the wind on our side, but it's just damp out. We'll see if we bale today or tomorrow. Here's the pure alfalfa field. It's crunchy on top now, so that took a little bit to dry. It took like 2 hours to get that dry. Yeah, we want to make sure that we move this, because this will be, and this is what the tractor ran over. All right, this is what it's looking like. I'm not able to it's not grabbing exactly what got ran over by the tractor, and this is still super wet. Not sure what to do. It's almost like I spread it a little too wide. I'm gonna rake it like this, and then I might have to come back and flip it one more time. All right, we'll give that a shot, but I don't know if that'll work. We'll see. So it's actually a bit worse because it can't get any down pressure to flick that over. So I'm gonna go back to the way it was and just... All All right, now we're doing the bigger field, and yeah, it's working good. I got the rake set up how I want it, and I think we're gonna get this to dry today, especially this side. It's so dang windy, and this is open. The other side doesn't get as much wind, has more tree cover, shade. So we'll see. I like how it's working pretty good. All right, we're almost done raking. Want to jump out of the tractor. We got a lot of leaves on there raking. We aren't flicking that many off. It doesn't look the prettiest just because we got that rain. It kind of bleached everything. A couple passes and we'll be done here. All right, when I was done raking, we actually had an issue. This wheel just started to fall apart. I'm not too sure why. Yeah, that one's already fallen off. It might be a mess. I think one came off, then they all started to get loose. I think I had it set too far out wide and put a lot of flex on it, and then these came loose. All right, we're baling now. We ended up, this stuff is dry here. This stuff's dry, but we're gonna wait till tomorrow to do on the other side of the trees where the alfalfa is. So probably just a bit too wet, and there's a small chance of rain tonight. So hopefully it doesn't rain, then I'll flip it once and it'll be dry by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So better safe than sorry. We ended up making one bale on the alfalfa stuff, and it's just a touch too wet. So it's kind of my fault, and I was thinking about this when I was raking it, and I should have came back. It's this right here that I was talking about earlier, and it's where the tractor matted it down, and the rake, I tried to set those back 2 wheels in tighter, and it just wouldn't grab. It was very close. Sometimes it would pick this up, other times it didn't have enough down pressure. That's my bad on not getting it good. There's just some wet spots in here, and we better not bail it. Still learning on the best way to do things, and then this year it's a little different rake. Here's what the alfalfa looks like when it's like flowering. This is actually in a month or 2 or less. They might start in like next week. The drainage district is actually gonna dredge this creek out, rip out all the trees, and yeah, like dredge it smooth like they did in the early 1900s. So it'll be like graded down. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on around here at the end of summer. But anyway, they staked it out, so I didn't mow this. All right, it's the next day now, and I brought the rake back home thinking that I was done, but again, it was too wet. So this wheel, these tines, once one got loose, they all started to slowly fall off. Then I tried to put it back on, and there's like a lot of tension to get them in correctly. I tried to put it back on, and it fell apart again. And then I'm just saying, screw it. I'm gonna take this wheel off, grab a good one, and all I'm doing is using this right side for today to flip it. I'm just gonna have one side down. I'm just gonna rob a wheel off this. Now flip this, so just the right side goes down. And all we're doing is kicking over the windrow a couple feet, trying to get a little of this wet stuff moved, get it aired out. It'll dry out in probably 2 hours and be ready to go. Got it all raked up and merged the windrows, so it'll be half as much baling for when neighbor comes with a baler, so that's nice. And merged it and flipped it, so it actually got it pretty cloudy just about now. So it's 2 o'clock, about 6, 7 o'clock should be good to bale and head back to the shed and get this parked. All right, we got these baled up last night, and we got a total of 28 round bales. So that's actually That's right on par with what first cutting was, which usually first cutting's the most, and then it just tears down as you get to more and more cuttings. But we had so much rain in between first and second. And then first cutting I cut a little early too. Looks good, they're good and dry, real nice and tight. And so we're gonna leave them in the field and let them sweat here for a couple days. And then probably gonna come back and just stack them off on the side of the field for now, and then come get them in the fall time. So use Adam's tractor, loader, bale spear, just get them up off the side, out of the way.
So we baled that hay on Tuesday, but then Thursday we ended up getting an inch or two of rain and couldn't move the bales because the ground was wet. And then Thursday going into Friday, we got slammed with rain, about 8 inches, and all of the fields were flooded. Creek came out of its banks here. I think 9 round bales here are sitting, in a foot or two of water. Sucks to see, but that's what's going to happen when you get 8 inches overnight and you're kind of in creek bottom ground here. We'll be back here in probably a week to get these moved and off the field and try not to tear the field up too much here. It's going to be a little bit of a mess, and this will probably ruin the stand that we just replanted these flooded spots, but it is what it is. Last year was record wet year, and it looks like this year is going to be the same. So thank you guys for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.